I've worked with the Sunshine State Standards and also work now with the Common Core curriculum.
Common Core is providing a more rigorous and engaging classroom environment.
The cross-curricular and interdisciplinary approach is phenomenal.
As we have experienced Common Core in secondary mathematics, we have been empowered to change the mindset of learning within our classrooms for teachers and students.
But perhaps the most amazing experience I've had seeing students engaged in Common Core was in a 8th grade remedial reading class last year.
We had stopped teaching students how to think, analyze, and problem solve. Common Core will correct this.
If we could teach to the Sunshine State Standards, we wouldn't have a problem with kids requiring remediation once they get to college.
I am a National Board Certified teacher, and this year I am working as a teacherpreneur. I teach students every morning and spend my afternoons working with expert teachers around the state and the country, and I support the Common Core state standards.
Hi, my name is Christine Francisco. I'm a 6th grade teacher at Orange Grove Middle School of the Arts. This is my 7th year teaching. I'd like to comment on my support of the Common Core.
Before obtaining a master's degree in special ed. When I began teaching, I was shocked at how little we were actually teaching our students with watered-down textbooks and low expectations. And I immediately understood why we were struggling in STEM careers as well as others. Somehow, between the time that I had graduated and the time that I returned to the classroom, we had stopped teaching students how to think, analyze, and problem solve. Common Core will correct this. Statistics from the College Board indicate that of the high school graduates entering college, greater than 60% of them will need to take at least one remedial course, and only 33% of them will graduate college in 4 years. We're not preparing our students for the demands that they will face in adulthood. The Common Core will better prepare them. I teach the lowest and most needy students in my school, and when I began teaching them with Common Core standards, they became very motivated. They embraced greater challenges than they'd ever had before. They were eager to research and to take on difficult topics and tasks. Remember, these are our lowest students. And to debate the complex issues using text and other evidence that they will face in their futures as adults. Common Core will demand more of our students and of our teachers, and it will take several years for us to see the results of our efforts. But they are efforts that we must make. We owe it to our kids to teach them the more rigorous standards of the Common Core to help them reach their full potentials. Common Core asks students to read and evaluate complex text, which includes video, music, ads, brochures, technical documents, and websites, just to name a few. All of these sources are ones that they will need to be able to use in their future lives, regardless of the field that they choose. Common Core asks students to write reasoned arguments that are supported with evidence. Common Core asks them to persevere in problem solving, to look for patterns, to use tools strategically, and to make sense of problems and devise rational methods to solve them. These are the skills and tools our population needs to sustain us to the next generation. Common Core is our opportunity to make lasting educational changes. We have a duty and obligation to our children to equip them with the skills and tools that they need in order to lead productive adult lives. I implore you, I beg of you, do not deny them this opportunity. Keep the Common Core.
Good evening. My name is Carol D'Amico from Sarasota, Florida. I have had over 40 years of educational experience, mainly on the elementary school level, and my interest has been the basics and concepts. I would like to give you first a little bit of a background, and then I would like to give you the problems of Common Core curriculum and solutions. I'm here to help you, and I'm here to help the state of Florida and our country, which I love dearly. and I see it going down quickly. But I'm hoping that these simple solutions could help you. To begin with, until 1979, America was #1 in the world ranking of education. And this is when we were under state and local rule, which was protected by the 10th Amendment of the Bill of Rights in the Constitution of our United States. Okay, after 1979, what happened? The Federal Department of Education was illegally formed. All right? It changed schools from local and state rule, which was legal under the 10th Amendment, to an illegal federal control of the school. Since 1979, new curriculums with socialist indoctrination have quietly infiltrated the schools. Dumbed down America, and the scores have dropped. The names of the same programs changed, but it's now called Common Core. And America has what worked when we were #1 in the world ranking of education before 1979. After 1979, America dropped in the world ranking of education to #25 in the world in reading and 34th in the world in math. Now, where would we rather be in a world ranking of education? #1, state and local rule, or #25 and 35 in math and reading? So, that was one thing. Now, here's some of the problems with Common Core. It does lower the standards of reading, spelling, writing, and math. It does not raise them. Other countries spend less and have higher standards in reading, spelling, math. American students spend 13 years in school. Too many graduate as mediocre readers, spellers, writers, and math students. Already? Okay. Here are some of the things that should be done, some of the easy solutions. #1, master the real beginning to advanced basic rules of reading, math, writing, and math reading, writing, spelling, and math that we used to have when America was #1. Memorize facts and mechanics of math again, not just the why of math. No calculators until the facts are learned. Bring back diagramming of sentences and grammar rules for better writing. Learning to write well is not a natural process. We have to learn the grammar rules. Bring them back. Bring back cursive writing, which is faster than printing. Teach all cursive, not just the signature. Some students don't even know how to sign their name when they graduate from high school. Bring back history again before 1865. Don't start with 1865. Bring back the reading of classics and stories with good values and role models. You'll get rid of the bullying. And with technical reading, students will not, they'll hate reading. You need good classic books. Obviously, I'm for removing Common Core, going back to when America was #1 in the world.
I'm Dr. Karen Ephraim. I'm president of Education Liberty Watch and a co-founder of the Florida Stop Common Core Coalition. And I have been here at the Tampa public hearing and will be at the Davie public hearing on the Common Core standards. They are terribly flawed. They are academically not rigorous. They will not promote critical thinking. They heavily promote psychological training as opposed to academic content knowledge. They are not internationally benchmarked. The tests associated with them will collect significant data on children, and the major testing groups have signed an agreement with the federal government to turn individual student level data over to the federal government for research and for other purposes. It's a huge concern for data privacy, for family privacy, for state autonomy, and it will affect homeschoolers and private schoolers as well, and also be really unsustainably expensive. And it's a major problem, and we need to get rid of Common Core.
My name is Randy Osborne. I work for a couple of organizations. One is Heritage Research. I also work for Florida Eagle Forum. And there's a lot of discussion tonight. There's a couple things I want to point out. There's a lot of discussion tonight about curriculum and a lot of discussion about standards. And I want to point this out. If I had a cake, if I baked a cake, nice beautiful cake, and I'm going to call that my standard. Now, it's a cake that's a special recipe cake. The problem is you would never be able to exactly copy that cake unless you had the recipe. Well, the recipe is the curriculum. What they're trying to do is they're trying to separate the curriculum from the standard, and you cannot do that. You have to have the standard, but you also have to have the recipe so you can match it. And that's one of the problems that they're having right now is they're trying to separate those. And the other problem is it is a standard, it is a national standard, and it's also a national curriculum that they're driving this with. That's one of the huge problems with Common Core. Another one is, if you notice, they pointed out somewhere under 2% of people transit from one state to another. So one of the arguments that they have is, well, Common Core is excellent because if I live in one state, then I can have the same standard in another state. Well, they're talking about 2% is what they're talking about, actually less than that. And what is, if you noticed in the meeting tonight, was this. I was there for 15 minutes. Out of that 15 minutes, 4 teachers spoke specifically on that subject. Now, if you did the math on that, you would know that statistically that's impossible. So what I'm suggesting is the people that are speaking are being prepped and are using talking points to speak instead of using speaking from their heart. And that's problematic. It's problematic because I think that this actual event that they have really stacked the deck on it. But other than that, I'm excited to be here. We continue fighting this thing, and we need parents to get involved in this because that's how we're going to defeat this. Thank you.